You've probably already seen a few Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection first impression videos by now. But what if I told you most of them missed something? Something hiding right in plain sight. See, the real story isn't just about how the games look or play, it's about how this collection feels, what it gets right, what it gets wrong, and what it quietly reveals about how we remember the classics. So, I decided to take my own deep dive. No filters, no hype, just honest gameplay, discoveries, and surprises that even longtime fans might have overlooked. When I first booted up the game, I was awed by the intro. The fire graphics, the text about our souls being protected, the crackling of the flames, the sound of the thunder, and the flashes of lightning. But then, there was the camera panning past the 3D rendered statues of the original combatants at the Warrior Shrine. The rumors are that the statues were created by AI, and they certainly look like they were, especially Sonya, who looks like she was captured by a Snapchat clown filter. The menus, like the crypt, the combat card, and the option menu look great, organized and polished. I went to the music player first, located in the crypt. There you have tracks from nearly every Mortal Kombat game in the collection. You get the album title, track name, and a credit showing who wrote the song or album. Pretty much all Dan Forden, who composed most of the iconic music in the Mortal Kombat series. There's a playhead timer to show each song's runtime, and if you let the tracks play, the next one starts automatically. You can even use the music player to make your own custom playlists. One feature I like is that the name of each track pops up on the screen each time a new song starts, regardless of where I am in the game. This happened as I was surfing the menu, for example. I noticed this while looking at the documentary section, which we'll talk about next. But there's a few things missing from the music player. The Mortal Kombat 4 soundtrack, as well as the Mythology Sub-Zero, Special Forces, and Mortal Kombat 32X soundtracks. That's not a deal breaker, but they would have been nice to have. The Kombatants Section is very cool. You can select a player, see a short bio of them, which is pretty neat, and you get to see the evolving look of returning characters from one game to the next. But we only get combatants from OG Mortal Kombat through Mortal Kombat 4, including Mortal Kombat Trilogy. There are no handheld versions of combatants, which is disappointing. Now, the documentary. Digital Eclipse knocked it out of the park and made the collection worth it for me. As someone who loves the history of video games and binges Never Knows Best history of video game playlists, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection's documentary is a score for me. A nice touch is the percentage meter at the bottom of each section of the documentary, letting you know how far you've made it through each of the 5 parts. And the timeline of the documentary is beautiful. The different 3D rendered levels of the world of Mortal Kombat scrolling through the background of the timeline really add a nice aesthetic and flavor. In the documentary, you can pause videos, fast forward and rewind them, and even add closed captions if you're deaf like me. All the video footage, photos, and text blurbs are very well done. At first glance, the combat card for me was but then I played a few matches and went back to it and was impressed with the option to watch, favorite, and/or replay recent matches. Now we get to actually playing Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. The online options are basic, meaning there's not much to them. For offline play, you can configure your controls, which is pretty standard. You can also adjust game settings like infinite credits or continues and set an unlimited round timer, which is really not necessary in my opinion. Next, there are what I call the base options for each game, the ones you can adjust before each game even starts. For the Game Boy versions, for example, I love that there's an option to toggle on color. And my favorite part in the options menu is the instruction manuals, because whenever I'd buy a Mortal Kombat game, I loved looking through the manuals, which usually included artwork and each combatant's special moves. For me, Digital Eclipse adding the manuals is a nice touch and something I wasn't expecting. When you get into a game, there are even more options. Notably, this is where you can toggle on the on-screen move list, mess with screen options like original, full, or widescreen, and add or remove a CRT filter or a TV, arcade cabinet, or handheld overlay. Regarding the on-screen move list, I'll say this. I was very disappointed to see there are no combo strings listed for the games, such as Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, that have combos as a core game mechanic. This is really disappointing to me because one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games is Mortal Kombat 3, and I love playing as Kabal and doing his combos. For someone who has forgotten more about Mortal Kombat than I remember, combo strings on the on-screen move list would be nice. I literally had to find a list of Kabal's combos online and have them pulled up while I was playing the game. I feel that I shouldn't have to do that, so hopefully combo strings are something Digital Eclipse adds soon in an update. The best option in my opinion is the ability to save and load games. If you don't have time to finish a tower, for instance, or you're in the middle of Mythology Sub-Zero and you gotta go touch grass for a while or whatever, go to work, etc., you can save your game and come back to it later. Next, the Fatality Trainer. I couldn't find it. It took me so long to find the Fatality Trainer, about 10 to 15 minutes while streaming, that I cut out that part of the VOD. After what seemed like a failed search party mission, I realized the Fatality Trainer is only available in the arcade versions of the games, except for UMK3 WaveNet Edition, and it's available for Mortal Kombat Trilogy as well. The same goes for the trainee mode. It's only available for the arcade versions and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, with UMK3 WaveNet again excluded. Thinking back, I do remember that the Fatality Trainer and the regular training mode were only available for arcade versions, so to see each mode available for Mortal Kombat Trilogy as well is a plus. Would I like to see these two modes available for every version of the game? Absolutely! But while not having to go to an arcade version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy to train would be convenient, it would be a bit redundant to have the same moves and finishers in multiple places. Some nice touches in regard to the Fatality Trainer and training mode are the ability to select the stage you want to play in other settings, like unlimited fatality time for example. But once I found the Fatality Trainer, yeah, it's an excellent feature. Although, every time you perform a fatality, the game takes you back to the once again screen as I call it, which was annoying. Other notable quality of life features and improvements in the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection include a fix for Shang Tsung's Mortal Kombat Trilogy Morph Leg, which is gone, and load times for online games from match to match are quick. So quick that I was drinking coffee and couldn't even get the mug to my mouth before the match started. Also, the rewind mode. I'd heard about it and discovered it by accident when I pressed the left analog stick while playing UMK3 WaveNet. It definitely comes in handy if you're trying to power through a tower without having to use credits, if you don't have infinite credits on. Even if you do, the rewind feature makes progressing through the games quicker. And speaking of progressing through the game, all 35 Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection achievements I covered in previous videos, and I'll put the card on the screen, are indeed legit and not too difficult to obtain. The only thing I'm disappointed about, which I mentioned in those videos, is that there are 0 achievements for any of the handheld games in this collection. Next, we're going to talk about online play. Because of all the negativity I heard and saw on launch day, October 30th, I was scared to even try it. I saw countless videos where matches stuttered like slideshows, or, like Mortal Kombat content creator Fate said, stammering more than he did when he first saw for the first time. Given all the justified negativity regarding online matches, I didn't even attempt to play until yesterday, or if you're watching this at a later date, the Sunday after the digital release, or 3 days after October 30th. Like almost everyone else who documented their experience with online matches, I experienced a crushing, disappointing issue. I wasn't even able to get into an online match. That's definitely something that needs to be fixed ASAP. I also want to talk about a post dated October 29th regarding lobbies and online play that I saw on Steam, as well as patch notes also posted on Steam on November 1st. We'll start with the November 1st patch notes, or hotfix version 110125. It says, the following issues have been addressed in this hotfix update. Improved audio buffer for online play. Restore missing audio in 32x MK2. General improvements to MK4. Fixed issues that caused UMK3 to reboot after Scorpion Fatality. General stability improvements for Genesis titles. Pause button hold time reduced by 50%. One button fatalities added for all arcade titles. General stability updates to music player. Additional fixes will be addressed in the coming days in another update. Okay, that's great, but again, we need stable, playable online matches. That should have been ready straight out of the gate. And because it's not, I feel, like most of you, that I'm playing an open beta, not a fully fleshed out game. And I can definitely understand the bitterness surrounding the issue and why a lot of players want a refund. After all, online play for classic Mortal Kombat games that never had online play originally is a huge selling point for players both old and new. Next, here's the quote-unquote update about online play and lobbies. It says, an online arcade feature is currently in development, which will give players the opportunity to create private or public rooms, select the games they want to play, and invite friends to join in. Each room can host up to 16 players, and multiple games can be played simultaneously. Think of it as your personal Mortal Kombat game room, filled with just the games you love and including multiples of any given game. So if you want 2 MK2 machines, you can do that. On individual games within the room, players rotate playing in classic arcade winner stays queue structure, or they can choose to simply spectate. This lobby feature is much more robust than Quick Match and is more ambitious than Digital Eclipse has done in previous games. So it demands additional testing both internally and from external partners before it's ready for players to enjoy. We expect this feature to be added via an update within a few weeks after launch. But this is dependent on internal and first-party approval timeframes, which can vary between platforms. keep an eye on our socials for updates. Oh, I definitely will be. And again, that's great and all, but I stick to my opinion that lobbies and online play should have been ready out of the gate. If they had delayed the game to have it ready at launch, I would have been fine with that. What about you? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, I really hope crossplay and online lobbies get to us earlier than expected, because there are a lot of us, especially us OGs, whose friends or ourselves have moved away, have kids and spouses, and we can't just, meet up for a weekend of playing Mortal Kombat together like we used to. And there are some of us creators, including myself, who want to play with our viewers. Dynasty, for example, who isn't a big fan of me, nor I of him, mentioned that he's going to buy the game 5 times. Now, at first, I didn't really understand why he said that or why he wanted to do that, but then it clicked. Without crossplay, he's unable to play with his viewers unless he owns every version of the game for every console. And that makes sense, and that's cool he's doing that, but he shouldn't have to. Like I mentioned previously, the digital release of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection feels like an open beta, with crossplay and online lobbies being ironed out after the fact. Hopefully, that's all ready to go in time for the release of the physical copies on December 12th. Again, in my opinion, quick matches, online play, crossplay, and lobbies should all have been ready to go on day 1, digital release launch day. And if they had to delay the game by 1 or 2 months to deliver a more polished finished product, fine. Now, given everything I just said throughout this video, I'm going to make some recommendations regarding whether or not this game is for you based on what you expect to get out of it in its current state. Here we go. Whether you're an old or new player and all you want are all the classic 2D Mortal Kombat games in one place, or you don't want to get into that gray area of emulation, or you want to preserve the original games and hardware in your collection, or you just don't care about online play, then the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is definitely for you. Especially considering that most of the games in the collection were originally 50 to 60 USD before inflation individually. If you want Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection for the OG games and the documentary, then it's definitely worth getting right now. But if you only want this collection for the documentary, then it's a hard sell considering you get more for your money if it were available on Netflix or another streaming platform to rent or buy for $5 to $10. If you only want Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection to play online with your friends or random people, then save your money. It's not worth it right now. Just cross your fingers, hold your breath, and hope and pray that online play and lobbies get to us as soon as possible. When they do, hopefully without further issues, then yes, this collection is worth it. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like, and if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. Also, leave a comment or your favorite emoji. It helps with engagement. I really appreciate it. Also, check out this playlist. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.